This podcast is part of the Podcast Your Scene Network. Visit us at www.podcastyourscene.com.
You know, the local media has an agenda that they're going to serve. I don't know who's in charge of it or what it is, if it's like a headless monster.
Why? This is a question.
Walking backwards.
Yeah.
Something sacred.
I don't know the names of the Creep songs. Those are
Running in
CDs that
circles.
Just pop in and let play.
Sea of Glass.
The flight and the fall.
I love Ozzy. I think he's the true definition of a rock star.
So kill out by your speakers.
Anybody else have any interesting stories they don't want on the show?
This is Doug from After the Call. Hey, this is John Lane from the thriving metropolis of Leechburg, Pennsylvania.
The Pennsylvania Rock Show, featuring the best unsigned rock that Pennsylvania has to offer. What's the story this week? Am I fucking your world? Man, I'm fucked up. I'm actually paid off.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, everyone? It is Bill, and you're tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 671, coming at you live from buildscene.com, PARockshow.com, music from the 412.com. All of those are in the Pittsburgh area. Then we can head to Scotland and Glasgow on xrpradio.co.uk. And then maybe we'll go to San Diego on the beaches of California at rootaroораdio.com. Head back into Pennsylvania on oldiesxl.com in Philadelphia. We'll head south to St. Louis, southwest, I guess, where we are on KFGD 107.1 FM and megarockradio.net. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. That's terrible. I know I'm forgetting someone, but I am not going to pull it out of my head tonight. This is episode number 671 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. With me tonight is Big Bay Allen.
Hey, how's it
How
going?
you doing?
Pretty good.
So for those of you that are watching us live, and I see a handful of you on there already, if you would like to contribute to the show, if you comment on the live videos that you're watching, it will show up on my screen, and I can share it to the screen so Bay can see it, and we can have a kind of a little bit of interaction that way. I do want to mention that the first two songs you heard on the radio show side, we heard Doppler Effect, What Can I Do? And I picked that song specifically because when I met Bay at the Blues Challenge, it was Mark from the Borstal Boys said to him multiple times that he looked like Bill Postal. Bill Postal is the lead singer of Doppler Effect. So that was the reason for that one. And then I picked the first of all, it should be mentioned for those of you not watching the video that Big Bay Allen was chosen as the Blues Society of Western Pennsylvania Blues Challenge Best Solo Duo Champion. And then the second song that I picked is the band that won the band title, and that's the Bell Jumpers. And we're gonna hear, and we heard their song "Party Dress." And now we're gonna talk to him for a little bit, and I have some other music for you guys to hear as well. But let's start off with. Usually, I ask bands where their band name came from, but I kind of want to know: is Bay your real first name? And I'm assuming I kind of know where Big came from, but where'd Bay come from?
Yeah. And so, my name originally on my birth certificate was not Bay Allen, but I'm the youngest of three brothers, and they started calling me Bay when I was about 7 years old. It's a shortening of my middle name, which is Bailey. And so I hated it. And they just kept calling me Bay, and I was like, stop, and it was just to mess with me. And eventually it stuck, and it's what I wanted to go by. I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia too. So there was the Chesapeake Bay, and they would always say, why don't you hold a bucket out that says Save the Bay Foundation, get some money, and so they were always messing with me, the youngest brother. But that's where Bay came from. It wasn't my parents who gave me that name. It was my brothers.
My brother called me Dooley, and thankfully that did not stick.
You might not want to say that again online, right?
I might be too late. It's out there now.
It's out there.
So you kind of looking when I looked you up, clearly my first interaction with you was at a blues challenge, but I also see some Americana and folk in your lineage as well. How did you come across that mixture of music?
Well, I've always gravitated towards anything acoustic, really. But that's not completely true. I play a lot of electric, but um, the bands that I was in through the years, I realized eventually they always broke up, but I couldn't break up with myself. So I'm stuck with me, I guess. So I've always gravitated towards the acoustic. So growing up, I was into folk, a lot of it because I was a self-taught guitarist. So a lot of the folk music was very accessible, just a few chords and you play many songs. And all songs are kind of like that. But then, as I got older, I realized you can take twists and throw some alternate chords in and really make it so it's not just a simple simple. You can take what's simple and make it overly complex if you're not careful. But I kind of always liked the acoustic blues. My aunt, because I'm from, again, instead of Aunt Kathleen, she was a professor of English down at Ferrum College in Virginia in the Piedmont area. There was a lot of just back porch blues down there. And so they had a project in the 80s where they recorded a lot of just these rural, just everyday people on their back porches playing these songs that they've played for decades. And it was called Virginia Traditions Piedmont Blues. And I still have the album. It's on vinyl. And I listened to that record all the time when I was a kid. And then as I got older, I got into realizing that style and how it differentiated from a lot of other blues. And I always kind of gravitated towards that Piedmont. It's a little more major, sometimes a little more ragtime-ish than what you think of blues, but it's legitimate blues. It's old school. And some people say, well, Piedmont blues is technically Florida blues, but that's another conversation. And so, yeah, that's how I got into it. I've always, my voice, I've always enjoyed singing, like more of a bending my notes and kind of blues style. Even in the more folk and roots stuff that I do, I gravitate towards a lot of that vocally. So it's just something, it's part of the sound that I somehow found throughout the years.
So you gave us a little bit of history there, but let's go even further back.
Sure.
Can you pinpoint the moment that you realized that you wanted to be a musician?
Oh my! I have a picture somewhere of me and my brothers. I was about 4 years old in this picture, and they were at a violin lesson, and they both had their violins, and I'm standing there in my members only jacket because it was the early '80s, and I was the only one in the picture without any kind of instrument. Um, and then fast forward a few years, and the roles were reversed. They weren't playing, and I was playing nonstop, like 6-8 hours a day. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, I put in my like 10,000 hours. They say to really put in, anyone who wants to do it, you got to put in like 10,000 hours or whatever. I mean, I was doing like 6-8 hours a day. I'd play till my fingers bled, and I'd put tape on them. You know what I mean? This was before new skin and stuff existed, and I always just loved to do it. As far as writing, I mean. My mom said as soon as I could speak, I was rhyming like right away. I would just rhyme like really quick ahead of the curve. Yeah, so I would say I started taking piano when I was 7, but even before that, I had the longing. They wouldn't teach me violin because I was too young. When my brothers would take
the
them.
short arm thing, right?
Yeah, I guess I wasn't Suzuki enough for them. But yeah, so ever since I was a kid, I've always really just resonated with music. Early on in elementary school, I wrote a song on the piano and submitted it for, like, I forget what they called it, like a rainbow award or so. I don't remember what it was. It was my first competition, right? But I got a ribbon or whatever. And I just kept at it over the years. And I got into guitar when I was about 10, 11, right around 11. My dad had a guitar, and he would pick and grin a little bit, not a whole lot, a lot of country kind of stuff. And so I started picking around on his guitar, and it's an old 1950s Gibson. He didn't want this kid picking around on his guitar too long, and so I ended up getting my own guitar. I bought all my own instruments. I had a paper route when I was like 11 years old, 12 years old. And so times were different. I guess child labor laws were different back then, right?
We have lots of instruments here. We have clarinet, 2 clarinets. We have a fife, a flute, a trumpet, a drum pad, a 3/4 guitar, harmonicas, and vocals. All 3 of my kids sing as well.
Nice.
So very musically, but nothing here. I can't play or sing.
You passed it on.
I did. It came from my mom and her brothers and sisters. They were in a church band.
You can just claim that you're just the most humble person in the family. You let them take the limelight, right?
Yeah, that's why I have 671 episodes of being on the air.
You're all about sharing other people's music. It's great.
I like how you did that. All right, so we're going to take a short break. We're going to hear 2 more tracks. We're going to hear Woodland Creatures and their song Lay It All Down. And then we're going to hear Big Bay Allen's Sweet on Me. And when we come back, we're going to talk about that track. So don't go away.
Want your music featured with the best of Pittsburgh's local artists? Music from the 412 is seeking bands and solo artists from Pittsburgh and beyond for our channel and exclusive shows. Simply visit musicfromthe412.com and look for our submission form under the Contact tab. Whether you're looking for an interview feature, concert promotion, or airtime for your latest song or music video, Music from the 412 has you covered. Get exposure for your music today. Catch the Pennsylvania Rock Show live Mondays on Music from the 412. Join host Bill Damiano for music and exclusive interviews with the best unsigned bands Pennsylvania has to offer. Featuring the best variety of rock and metal with new shows every week. Plus, you can catch replays every Saturday morning and stream us on the radio. Want to get your band featured in an upcoming episode? Visit Build the Scene online for submissions and additional information. Rock for Life is proud to announce the beneficiary of this year's concert series, our 2023 rock star Scarlett. Scarlett was diagnosed with leukemia in January of 2020. She's currently fighting her second battle with leukemia and attends regular chemotherapy. Rock for Life aims to provide financial support for Scarlett and her family, with funds raised from our music festivals and concerts. Come out to a Rock for Life show near you. A great time for a great cause.
Hey, so we are back with Big Bay Allen here on episode 671. This is the beginning of a bit of a stretch of blues here on the Build the Scene Pennsylvania Rock Show experience. I am trying to get to my website to tell you who else I have, but it's not cooperating right now. But if you go to buildscene.com, hover over podcasts, click on the Pennsylvania Rock Show, there's a whole list. Lone Crow Rebellion is in there, the Bell Jumpers, Billy the Kid and the Regulators, Jimmy Adler. Who am I forgetting? Oh, there's a couple more. But I went to the blues show, the challenge, and like every time that I go to a blues show, I'm sitting there going, wow, I should go watch more blues. And I was like, wait a minute, I should promote more blues. And so you're going to see a big stretch of blues artists here for a little while on the PA Rock Show. And, rock is kind of built off of the blues, so it makes sense. So we just heard, as I mentioned, Woodland Creatures Lay It All Down and Big Bay Allen's Sweet on Me. and this is your MTV moment. Give me a storytellers on this song.
Right. So this song, there's not a whole lot to tell. It kind of wrote itself. I was just sitting in the living room playing. And my wife walked through, and all of a sudden, this song just happened. And so um, it's essentially about someone who's probably everyone at some point has had this feeling like, man, I don't deserve this person. You know what I mean? Whether it be like a romantic relationship or a best friend or whatever, it's like, man, they could do so much better than me, you know? And sometimes we get down on our dumps and stuff, but sometimes we're just saying, man, there's what is it about me, you know? And so that song just kind of came about, and a lot of it just kind of goes back to when like I went and met her parents for dinner the first time, and they probably thought I was crazy looking and all this kind of stuff. Because when we met in college, I had hair all the way down my back, like 3 different colors. I'd wear a trench coat with shorts. I was weird. And so she used to talk about how in the one class that we shared together we went to Indiana University of Pennsylvania, IUP. And so she would share about how she would just sit in the back and they would joke me. I was the weird guy, right? And then we ended up hooking up. So, but yeah, that's what that song's about. And it kind of goes back. There's this old song from around the 30s called "She's Funny That Way," and I think Jackie Gleason did that song. I play that song too. I cover that song. It's a really cool song, kind of jazzy, a lot of great chords in it. But it's the similar theme, you know. It's about someone it's like she's funny that way, you know. I should just leave her, but she would be sad, you know what I mean? and she's funny that way is the old song, and so it's similar to that as far as the story and the theme and just the heart of it.
So you asked me if I was going to throw you in curveballs, and so far I've been kind of nice. But I did mention the pizza question, and we're going to start there. The question is, what's the best pizza you've had because you're a musician?
The best pizza.
So you have to link it to something in your history as a musician.
I got to link it. Let's see.
So you can't do that Motor City one because unless you found it on your way home from a show.
No, I'm trying to think. Best pizza. Well, I mean, in Indiana, I used to play like a lot. We had a blues night, open mic night at the Brown Hotel and stuff when I was in college. And there was this place there called Tom's Pizza. It's like a Greek pizza. It's like all these layers. The crust is like very interesting. I've never had a pizza like that because it's like almost like a phyllo dough, but it's pizza. You know, it's just layers. So good. So if you're ever in Indiana,
are they still there? Because
they're still there.
It's only like 40 minutes from here. I might have to make that drive.
Everyone always talks about Bob's. That's my pizza because you know Mike Lang did the commercial for them and everything. But in my opinion, when in Indiana, hit Tom's.
I did not go to Indiana. I was accepted there, and Clarion and Slippery Rock, and not that anyone cares about this, but I chose Clarion, and then Slippery Rock offered me an academic scholarship, and that's where I went.
There it is, right?
But it was I was going to state school because I was going to be a teacher, and you know,
right.
That's in Pennsylvania. If you're going to teach, state schools are the way to go.
Yeah, so, I mean, I paid out of state tuition though. I went from Virginia Beach to Indiana, and that's usually the question I get. Like, why'd you go from Virginia Beach to Indiana? But my aunt, the same one who hooked me up with that blues tradition vinyl when I was a kid, she was getting her master's at IUP when I was born, and so that was my connection that got me into Pennsylvania. And then I met my wife, and the rest of it's history. You know, I've been in Western Pennsylvania ever since.
Another oddball question for you. This one has become the official official build the scene question. And it's, who's your Dave Grohl? And by that, I mean, who do you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their original songs? Because Dave pulls people up on stage for the Foo Fighters all the time.
Who would I want to go up and play with? I don't even know if it's just play one of their songs. I would just like to jam with quite a few people. I would like to jam with Derek Trucks. I would like to jam with Susan Tedeschi. Both at the same time would be great, right? But I would like to jam with Billy Strings, Tommy Emmanuel. I would love to just hang out. I reached out actually when I did the Blues Challenge. I closed my set with a Paul Jeremiah tune. And Paul's one of those blues guys who played like during the 60s, 70s. He's one of the few that's still alive. He lives in Rhode Island. And so he's like in his 80s now, I guess, but he's still alive. I don't know how well he can play anymore, but I'd love to actually kind of, if I'm over in that area, like I actually reached out to him and he's like, if you're ever in the area, swing in, you know what I mean? I'd like to meet him. That would be really cool. I met Jim Queskin last year. Great guy. It was fun kind of playing some tunes with him. I met Ramblin' Jack Elliott. He's still kicking and he's 90 now. He was around with Woody Guthrie, for crying out loud. An incredible picker back in the day. His finger style's off the hook, and even with his old fingers, he's still got magic. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people I would just like to play with. I don't know about playing one of their songs. I just like to create something new, even, just jam or even on a standard, just something that's been around forever.
So this next question, I'm going to ask it in a way that may not be perfect, but then I'll reword it for you. Because it fits with the blues. Robert Johnston, the history and the lore is that he went to the crossroads and sold his soul to the devil, and that's how he became a phenomenal guitar player. And
excuse me.
That's you. And the question is, if you were at those same crossroads, what would you be there to sell your soul to the devil for? Yeah, see, so here's my rewording for you. What is just outside your reach musically that you're still striving for?
I'm just always trying to get better, to explore new things. I think like most musicians, it's funny. I'll try to look up new things, and then I'm like, well, I already kind of know that, and there's sometimes where I'm totally blown away and I'm like, why didn't I think of that? But sometimes I just sell myself short and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I do already have that. I'm sitting here looking for it and I just need to kind of realize that I'm already doing it in my own way. I don't need to do it exactly like that. But I'm trying to get better, knowing the fretboard better, the fingerboard, the notes, the everything, all the different variations of chords. I've been getting into a lot of like old kind of jazz and early blues kind of stuff, ragtime and that kind of stuff. The old music has been speaking to me lately. There's a little different complexity than what we usually hear now. Not that what we hear now is dumbed down or anything by any means, but it was just different chords. A lot of the diminished, a lot of the half diminish, all the major sevens and stuff. A lot of flavor that we don't hear a lot unless you're getting more into a jazz kind of setting. And so I'm just pushing myself to try and incorporate some of that nuance and that vibe into what I do, I guess, so it doesn't get stale, even if it's for myself. So what I'm writing doesn't always sound the same. I have to do something different. I mean, musicians I've written hundreds of songs. Like if you go online, I have hundreds that are online and that are available, but I have just as many that I never released because I ended up canceling them out or whatever. But yeah, so just trying to get better. Next day, always one step better, whatever it is.
Very cool. All right, so we're going to take another short break. You're going to hear Lone Crow Rebellion, who was also at the Blues Challenge, and their song, Great Day for Singing the Blues. And then we're going to hear from the Tone Travelers, who I haven't played in a long time, and their song is called Home. And we'll come back, and I have one more set of questions for Big Bay Ellen.
Music from the 412 is proud to feature local Pittsburgh musicians on our 24-hour radio station. Tune in online or stream to your smart device to listen to the latest songs from some of the best bands in the burg. You can even submit your own original tracks online. Join us in supporting our local music scene. Tune in today to Music from the 412, Pittsburgh's home for original music.
Hey, we're back with Big Bay Allen and a little bit of change on our background there. The Pennsylvania Rock Show live. Usually Mondays at 9 p.m. on Music from 412. Doing things a little differently this week. I'm doing it Wednesday. So it will not appear this Friday, but the following Friday, because I am out of town on Monday at a science competition with my students. So what you just heard was Lone Crow Rebellion, Great Day for Singing the Blues, and the Tone Traveler's Home. With me tonight, if you're just tuning in, is winner of the Best Solo Duo Championship at the Blues Society of Western PA, Big Bay Allen. So speaking of that challenge, winning that got you a cool trophy and a little bit of cash and a trip to Memphis.
Yeah.
What do you know about that trip? Like, I know that I'm going to put it up right now before I even let you answer the question, that you are looking for a little bit of help for that trip. And the best way to do that is to purchase some of his music on Bandcamp, which is right down there in the video. It's bigbayallenblues.bandcamp.com. And now I'll let you talk.
Yeah. So I'm going to be trying to raise, whatever I can, however I can. I'm hoping to get, about probably $3,000 from what I'm researching right now. But that's, if I don't sleep in my van, that'll cut my costs back a little bit. But yeah, I'm looking at going to Memphis. So any and every album that you purchase, a lot of people stream music. The research shows like over 70% of the music that people listen to, they stream, and artists get a pennant. We get hardly nothing. It takes I think I heard, is it 7,000 streams or something to get like as much as like a nice t-shirt merch wise or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane how little musicians get. So if you're interested in support, not just me, but any musician that you like, one of the best ways to do that, it sounds old school because it is purchase their music, purchase their merch, because that's what, especially struggling artists, like small artists without a big label to help send them to places like Memphis or whatever. That's how we do it, is with the fans actually purchasing our stuff. So I have my new CD, which just came out on Blue Monday, which was the saddest day of the year, I guess, is what the stats say. January 16th, third Monday in January, they call Blue Monday. But my new album came out. And so, go buy it. It's right there on Bandcamp. Stream it if you want. You can stream on Bandcamp even. But if you like what you hear, please consider supporting me, sending me to Memphis. I even put together a compilation of some of my older stuff. Spans 4 different albums. Just kind of some blues songs, bluesy vibe songs that I like. And so it's kind of like my own little compilation, and it's there too. If you go to Bandcamp, it's called Send Me to Memphis. And that one, because this is, again, you're supporting me. That one's not like a $10 iTunes album. I remastered the songs. They're better than they ever sounded. But it's a $20. I mean, that's going to help me get to Memphis. And so if you're listening and you like what you hear, and you're up for just supporting someone, from Western Pennsylvania to represent Western Pennsylvania down at the Blues Challenge, International Challenge in Memphis, please consider helping me out.
One thing that I would like to mention, Bandcamp is great for local and unsigned bands because you get I think it's 83% of what's paid in, which is a huge cut compared to other places. But on the first Friday of every month, they have Bandcamp Friday. And on that day, it's like 92%. So that first Friday of the month, that's when you should go purchase that Big Bay Allen Send Me to Memphis, so that he gets just a little bit more. And I had this conversation 2 weeks ago on the Working Breed episode, because they were releasing their CD on the Saturday, the first Saturday. And I was like, you just missed the Bandcamp Friday, and they released it on Bandcamp on Friday because I said it.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks for bringing that up. For a little while, they stopped doing that, but they did bring it back, the Bandcamp Friday. It's a great way for the artist. Originally, they waived their fee entirely. It may only be 90% now. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that.
I think it's somewhere between 92 and 93 now.
Nice. But that's still, Bandcamp is one of the best returns, other than just direct PayPal kind of money, you know what I mean? But I also have the option on both of those albums that are on Bandcamp. You can give more if you choose. If you want to give more, you can give more. And if you're someone who just uses iTunes or Amazon or whatever, you can purchase my albums there too. They're available there too.
It all
but
helps,
not the Send Me to Memphis. That's only available on the Bandcamp page. So,
I'm going to ask you another. I'm going to call it an odd question, but anyone who listens to my show has heard it so many times they're used to it. You're going to think it's odd too, though. All right. So Kiss has played in a bay in Australia to great white sharks, and Metallica has played in a bubble in Antarctica. What is a non-standard venue that Big Bay Allen would like to play at?
That I would like to play at. It's interesting. How about? No, it's going to be too crazy. Well, it could happen. I was going to say on the moon, but that's just too crazy, because I want to hear what actually happens with like instruments and sound and all of that when you're on the moon. But
see, now you're going to turn me into my day job. And I teach science. So with the limited amount of matter floating around in space, sound doesn't travel very well, because sound travels by hitting the particles of matter. And then when the matter is spread out, I can't hit it.
Okay, set up satellites with speakers that are all surrounding the moon, and then have it all at once just come out. I just created the Death Star of sound.
I like it. So let's see, what else can I? Okay, so you can hop in a DeLorean and go pick up 4 people from the history of the world. They can be currently alive or have passed on, and sit down and have dinner with them. Who are you going to choose and why?
Right. I would pick up Jesus Christ.
He comes up often.
Yeah, I would pick him up. We would hang and we would chat about all kinds of stuff that I think he would only have the answers for. I would pick up Stevie Ray Vaughan just to tell him not to get on that horrible plane. I would pick up who else? Who else from history? How about Tesla? Why not? What about? I'm down on my number 4. Who would it be? How about? This is a tough one. I'm on number 4. It's taken time, you know. But how about I'll just throw someone out there. There's this Canadian musician, Mo Scarlett, and I love his music. He just passed away on the 30th of May, almost 4 years ago. You know what I mean? So I'd go back to when he was alive and pick him up so we could jam and have some fun. So
very cool. Okay, so you're headed out on your first tour, and you have to hire an entourage, and for some reason you hire me to drive your tour bus. Don't do that. Who are we going to listen to on the radio in between tour stops?
We'll pop some Bob Dylan on. Then we'll listen to some Stevie Ray Vaughan. Dig Stevie Ray Vaughan. R.L. Burnside. I don't know. Just everybody. We'll just put a mixtape on. It'll be everybody. You know. I'll let you choose. You know, show me something I hadn't heard. You know.
Oh, I have a lot of music I'm sure that you have not heard yet. So we have about a minute left in our time. Don't forget bigbayallenmusic.bandcamp.com. What do you have coming up besides the Memphis show?
Well, I also play the autoharp. It's this weird little instrument most people have never heard of. But I'm going to be heading out next week to California to be teaching some autoharp out there at the California Autoharp Gathering. It's right in the Low Sierra Mountains, right outside of Fresno. So I'll be out there for a week teaching autoharp. Looking forward to that. Coming back, there's another autoharp gathering. I got a vacation that I'm trying to get in on top of all kinds of other things. And what else? Supposed to be playing at a local cafe, but I don't have a date for it yet. So, yeah, I'm just trying to find some places to play. If you're a booking agent, reach out to me. You know what I mean? You can get a hold of my contact right there. You can just write me an email at bayallenmusic@gmail.com. And yeah, I'd love to come and play some music if you're looking for that.
So we're going to play two more tracks. The Jeremy Edge Project's Sunrise and Rising Regina Wildflower. And then we're going to go off into the evening on the radio side. I do have some videos for you guys to watch on Music from the 412. I've mentioned a couple of those: Super Monkey, Danny Gotchner, Derek Wood's band, Dinner Bell Road, and then it'll get a little shaky there time-wise, but there may be two other ones after that, depending on what I can fit in. I want to thank you for hanging out with me tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And for those of you not familiar with the show, it is on buildascene.com. You can go there, find out all the information on where it's played worldwide. But starting here in Leechburg, Pennsylvania, which most of you probably haven't heard of, with our two red lights.
And where's this playing in Scotland? My brother just moved there.
Glasgow. It's on XRP Radio, xrpradio.co.uk.
All right, I'll have to get that to him. He's in Fife, so hello, Scotland.
And with that said, here comes some videos for you to hang out and check out.
The Kid from Billy the Kid and the Regulators. Check out Music from the 412. Great show. We're all hanging out here in Coriopolis, PA today for the International Blues Challenge Regional IBC with the Blues Society of Western PA. Check it out.
So I pick it up for myself. a new stone road. Unless you consider the years that I've driven since I left in my trusty old. I've had my share of successes and wrecks, and I've lived in both mansions and shacks. My life's been one long record, just skipping from track to track. You can't turn me over, you can't hit repeat. I'll be forever the piece out of me. People keep asking hypothetical questions. If I could do it again, what would you do? What would you change, man? I don't even know where to begin. I've had my share of successes and wrecks, and I've lived in both mansions and shacks. My life's been one long record, just skipping from track to track. You can't turn me over, you can't hit repeat. I'll be forever the piece out of me. I might have thought about sticking around. I might even thought about settling down. I might have upped my keys if she only had seen there was a better side of me. I've had my share of successes and wrecks, and I've lived in both mansions and shacks. My life's been one long record, just skipping from track to track. You can't turn me over, you can't hit repeat. I'll be forever the piece out of me.
Those days are gone from where you stood before. Then caught you dreaming, you suddenly awoke. The flame was burning, the wind was blowing. You were there, once was I. Happiness escapes through the crack in a door. How long must she wait to feel love once more? Just a smile from my long lost friend. Just a smile, hope to see you again. Just Inspiration flowing, inspiration glowing, just passing by, just to catch up the eye. Is clear. They caught you searching on letters you wrote. Thoughts are endless. Wish you had sent this. You could be here. So could I. Happiness escapes through the crack in a door. How long must she wait to feel love once more? Just a smile from my long lost friend. Just a small town boy with a hell bill of hopes and dreams. Oh, Nashville man, won't you listen to one of my songs? I hit the road, play getting ready, bring my boys along, 'cause we ain't got no particular place to be. All we want is a chance to be heard and sing. Oh, Nashville man, Mr. Nashville man, send me a plane and fly me to Tennessee. Nashville man, oh, Nashville man, and I can make you $1, wait and see. We got something good here. They like to sing along. I've seen some things, got a whole lot more to say. So bring it down the music room, and we'll play all day. The whole Nashville man, won't you listen to one of my songs? The stuff you're putting out here, man, it's so wrong. When you turned your back, let us help you find your way. We'll take you down to Texas and cleanse your sins away. Oh, Nashville man, Mr. Nashville man, send me a plane and fly me to Tennessee. Nashville man,
Mr. National Man. You know this ain't the way it's supposed to be.
Cook says that was fun. No, that was awesome. Think about Road, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think? Awesome sauce. Yes, indeed.